What's up, everybody? It's Jordan from A-Force. As you've seen us rolling with, we're going to be doing some Vesc tuning today, just like bass tuning, showing you some different parameters that you can change, like just to go better with your ride feel, like what works for you. And I'm going to explain some of those things, and then at the same time, or at least get you an idea of what you can test, and then things that you can change for the different kind of motors there are. I'm using one that's it's been a popular one for the Vesc lately, for the flip ski. By the way, flip ski, the G300, they all are based off Vesc software. It's just different firmwares that they run and different build quality, obviously, that limits power. But it's all, you can use the same app for the flip ski, the G300, the jetpack, and then the Noisy Cricket True Moto. These guys, they say if you use the Vesc tool, it voids warranty. I get it. They want you guys to stick to their stuff because it makes it easier. It's not that easy to do for all motors. If they tune it for you, that's good. But that's why I'm going over this, so that way, yeah, there will be a bass profile that you can load on the tune that I base for you, which I'm still considering that. But I want to give you guys the juice, and I've pretty much put it in the spec that it's going to need 100 plus amps to get it. You just get that crazy feeling that I've been boasting about and just talking about. So but yeah, you'll have to, there's things that need to be changed for different motors. This one's a SPM, meaning that the magnets are embedded on the outside of the rotor, versus the FW11 is IPM, where the magnets are embedded on the inside in the V formation, kind of giving it a better, less resistance, better for spinning, more torque. It's a really good design. But either way, I put you up here on Vesc, just so you can kind of see, this is the home screen. This is on an iPhone. It'll be the same on an Android.
We reach behind you and kill that light.
Yeah. Maybe. It's right there. All right.
What about this one?
You just click it.
Oh, okay. Thought so.
Shit.
Oh, there we
go.
Technical difficulties. It's not
all good.
Time out. It's not that one.
No.
All right. There we go.
All right. So we're on the Vesc. This is like what's going to look on your home screen. But when you get into this, you're going to go over. It's before this comes up. It'll be like the. Let's exit out here. I'm going to hit it again.
Nudie Magazine Day.
This comes up first. So, and these aren't anything Vesc related. It's going to bring up all these Bluetooth things. I'm going to come over here really quick. Alex is going to show. Got everything set up here. I'm using the B1 motor just to show you guys easy, because I forgot my Hall adapter that goes here in between to make it work for other motors that come with a different Hall sensor, so you don't got to do all the swapping out. But we got it all hooked up here: Hall sensor, phase lines, plug and play harness that leads out for your throttle, Bluetooth adapter, your key switch and voltmeter, and Hall sensor, like I said, battery lugs.
Missing a bike.
I know, right? I know it. So we'll go here. We got to turn it on, actually. And then when you turn that on, you heard it come on there. Little screech, scan BLE. Now it's going to
go up here.
Yeah. Yep, that'll work. So when it says scan BLE now it's coming up that top one. It says Vesc BLE UART. You're just going to hit connect. If it's your permanent one, you can hit preferred. So that way it knows this is what you're going to have paired together. This is what you're going to use of all the Vesc, mainly if you have multiple builds set up with the controller, so it can bring them all up and then you can pick which one. But so we're going to go over here, just connect. It's going to say this shit, where it says connected. The connected Vesc has old but mostly compatible firmware. You'll just skip past that to get out of it. And this is going to be your home screen, what we talked about in the first place. Don't let any of this intimidate you. We're going to run through it, work through it together. So first of all, since you're connected now, you got that automatic disconnect up there in the left, top left, under where it says configuration under Vesc tool. But right underneath that, it says set up motors. That's what we're going to go to first. So I'm going to set my phone down here because he's watching you up there anyways. But so you'll say set up motors. It's going to say processing. Load default parameters. Fuck, no. No, we don't do that. Sorry. Don't do that. No. No, no, no. All right. Then we're going down here. Generic. It should be on that anyways, but we're going to roll that out. Then down here, hit next. Then we're looking for the motor. On mid-drive motors, usually a my 1020 and up. Well, pretty much any mid-drive motor, because they're going to weigh more than what this software was originally designed for as far as what he's judging. So we're looking for large end runner. We're going to click that option. Some people will be like, and like I said, there's always going to be somebody that's smarter, knows this, that, and the other, but I'm going to give you my way of doing it. If somebody wants to comment this, that, or the other, more than welcome. All right, so down here, when you click that option, it gives you these little things where it can say override, whatever, whatever. The only thing, if you need to override it and choose how many poles the motor has, and this is poles versus pole pairs. So it's pole pairs. That's why you see it says 4. That would be 8. That would be 2 pole pairs. So if it was a 4 pole motor, it needs to say 8 poles. So, and that's something you can look up on the specs of your motor. Everything else is pretty decent. You can leave it there as far as it just auto detecting and finding the hall sensors and temp sensor, all that stuff. So you'll just hit override here. What is the I think it's 6 because it's 3 pole pair. I think it's the same as my 1020 if I remember right. So it would be, yeah, we'll put, either way, this is just going to come down to the configuration of your RPM and related speed and stuff like that. But because off the top of my head, for whatever reason, I cannot remember what the pole count is. With that motor selection, yes, we're going to hit yes, get through that because we know we changed it. Over here, this is going to set up your battery. You'll be lithium ion most likely, but you can change that if you need to. But we're going to stay up there on what it came with because it detects it. 20 cells in series because you have a 72 volt battery. If you have a 60 volt, odds are it's going to be 16. 48 volts going to be 13 most likely. Yeah, and 10 for 36 volts. Sorry. Battery capacity underneath, that's going to be your amp hours. So if you got like this one's a 72 volt, 32 amp hour pack. Oh, well, I'm seeing this now. This thing is temperamental about getting that little thing where you want. You can erase everything. Like I can erase this and hit 32. And to get off this screen, you just hit help or hit on another setting and it just gets you out of it. So, help here. Okay, it's out of it, whatever. But if you, let's say you screw up and do, just put 32, bro. Then it fixes itself. Okay. Down here, you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. It's not going to pull a lot of current when it's doing the motor not under load. So we're going to hit next. Battery set, yes, it's fine. Don't worry. If you know your configuration as far as what your gearing is going to be, you can set these here. So let's say I'm bench testing this, but I know it's going to be, in the B1, it's going to be 11. And down here, 74. This is the 74 is your rear sprocket. The 11 is the motor sprocket. Down here on your wheelbase, if I remember right, I think it was what, 414 for the Razor RSF wheels. Maybe it's 418. But either way, we're just walking through this so you can see in what parameters to look for. This is the wheel diameter. This is going to be if you were to take a ruler or a tape measure and go from where the tire absolutely started, where it's going to touch road, all the way to the straight across to the outside of where it would touch road again. That right there is in inches. Take that inches, divide, and then times it by 25.4 because that's how many millimeters it takes to make an inch. That will give you how many millimeters that you need to put in for right here. Motor poles, we already changed that, but you can change that here if you want to later on. It says only change if needed. And then at this point, we're going to hit run detection. Now, this is where it's going to start to figure out the motor, kind of like some of you guys are used to on the Far Driver Viver controllers when it's trying to auto learn. But this isn't as aggressive. It's kind of cool, but it's you still want to have it either bolted down or in the thing with the chain off. Your platform with the chain off, or at least be holding it. So I'm going to hit run detect. And now Alec is going to come down here and watch the motor while this is going on because, and then this screen here, I'm sorry, the detect FOC that's still on there, it's just hit OK. You're fine there. That's if you have multiple vests hook up to each other. So now it's processing. You hear that little noise? This B1 motor's dirty. I need to get her cleaned up. Okay, now it's processing on the screen over here. Now this is what the detection came back with, the results. Now if I were you, I'd take a screenshot of this so that way if you do end up wanting to mess with these things later, you can. Says the motor current can be up to 120, pretty much 129 amps. You got your Hall sensors true, and then your temp sensor is false. That's because that B1 motor doesn't come with that. All these other sensors, like numbers here, I'm not going to go into depth of them. Some people know them, some people don't. Yeah, we won't go into all that because I'll just hurt your brain even more than it's probably hurting now. But we will later. It's just take a screenshot of them so you got them. Then we're going to hit OK. Come back here. Now, this is where you can tell if your motor's going the right way. So you would hit forward. It's going to bring it down here on the motor. So if I hit forward here again, it's going to bring it forward. If it's going the right way, I can hit finish. If it's going the wrong way, we'll hit invert. Then when I hit forward, it goes the other way. So how are we going to do this? If I was going to put this, for the quad, it needs to go this way. Okay, so then once we got it going the right way, we're going to hit finish. All right, and at that point, it brings you back to the home screen. We're going to change some things with the motor settings, obviously, but we need to run our throttle calibration. Just get that out of the way. So we got all that there. It's getting this accurate signal. Everything's on point. So right next to setup motors, it's going to say setup input, the little wizard hat. Everybody's like, what the hell is that wizard? Where's a wizard hat? Yeah, that's a wizard hat. I don't know. Wizard hat. I had to say it again. We got, we're setting up the throttle input, so we hit that. It's scanning just to make sure this is the best you want. Next. And then we got throttle options. We're going to go down to that third one because we all got e-bike throttles. Next. Okay, now that's when your throttle comes back. You're going to grab your throttle. He's going to look at, you're going to, I can't hear, I'll stand up so you can see it. You're going to give it a full twist from where it's at its dead point. You're going to see that bar over here. You're going to see that fill up. It's set, the way I do it is, I come full, and then I come back to about half, and then I let go. This is giving me the best results out of all the things that I've tried. So from that point on...
can you show that again, just so I can
yeah,
make sure they've seen all
and,
that?
and if you do this again like this, it's not going to screw anything up. It's going to take what it gets, and, or here, we'll just so we're not leading astray, hit that reset button. You'll see it on the phone. Oh, shit. We'll hit that. Yeah, of course, I reach down with my fat fingers and hit apply and right. So, here, we'll do this again. We'll do a reset. And then we'll pull the throttle.
Show the throttle. There we go.
Twisted full. Go back to half. And then let go. That's how I do it there. That's what it shows. And then we'll go down. Once we're happy with that, hit apply and right. That little voltage jump you're seeing right there, that's not going to hurt you or cause anything. You know, it's just showing that there's where the start voltage is. And there's a thing set on the controller. It's different than the far driver to where there's a safe start. So you won't have to worry about that as far as, it taking off on you or doing something like that. And if you feel better, so it's different. That's where the far driver and them are completely different. It's crazy. But either way, so we hit apply and right. That you'll see a little blue streak come across down here. That's letting you know the controller wrote it, accepted it. As soon as you see that, you're going to go hit next. Okay, these are your control types. On this, how I set it up, you can leave it how it is stock. Actually, you know what? For how this is set, I would just leave it. The only thing that I like to take off is I like to take where it says this little slider, it says use filter. It is used to reject noise, but it can still cause a delay. And it's nothing that anybody would probably ever notice. But I like to keep everything. I don't give a shit about noise. It's still less than a gas bike, and it's nothing you would even be able that anybody would be able to detect normally. So anyways, I'll turn that off. Leave everything else the same. Hit finish. Okay, so down there at the bottom, you see how it was blue. It wrote. That's how you can tell everything wrote. It went good. Acknowledged. So from this point, we're at that home screen. Yeah, there's obviously things you can do here, but we're going to be taking the top of the screen where it says Start and then RT Data. Here's where it's going to be your all your live data as far as that goes. You can not only go side to side to scroll through these little things, but there's ups and downs. So this will show your current, your duty cycle, your electric RPM. That's going to be that divided by motor poles, which will give you your actual RPM. That's how they configure everything for your speed and stuff, your power output. And then little fault codes, if there's any. That's a little section down there, but we can go back to that, scroll down. And this will give you your like time, distance, efficiency, just stuff like that as far as stuff you can keep track of and what's been done so far here. Yeah, so far it's pushed a max of 70 amps. Okay, so yeah, we're going over to profiles now. Profiles is where you can add. So if we were to have a tune that we really liked, we could come over here, hit add profile. Don't pay attention to the speed. It's crazy right now because we haven't messed with any of the other things yet. Plus the motor poles is probably off, no my luck. But either way, you can name the profile here. And you'll hit OK, whatever, so you know it's the kid tune. That's what's gonna if that's what you're setting up for the kiddos or your parents or your mom or something like that. So I'm gonna hit cancel just to get out of it. But that's how you can set up different modes. And when you hit those, you can hit choose to use that as the permanent file, or you can use it until reboot until you turn it off and back on, and it'll go back to the original file. It's pretty cool. And like I said, this is very simple to go through and kind of figure out. BMS, if you have your BMS communication where it can be hooked up with the controller, it can tell you everything about your battery. We don't mess with that. Don't worry about it. Firmware, you're not going to have to worry about any of this. That'll all be set up. Motor configuration. This is where it gets into your battery line current, phase current. So we're up and this part here can be confusing a little bit as far as like just how I say general, then motor current, then general, But the first general, the top one, that's going to be where all your different, as far as like FOC, BLDC, just different ways. But you're going to leave this on general for now, the first one. Go on to the second one. We're going to go over to current. So because of the detection, it came back saying that it could take almost 129 amps motor current. That's your phase current. We know it can take more than that. So, max motor current. We're going to go up to
650.
Yeah, not on the B1 motor. But we're going to put 300 here because I know it can bust it. And like I said, you hit help just to get out of it. It's just fucking weird how it does that. Your braking current, you can leave this here if you want, just depending on how much regen you want to mess with. Usually, just to be on the safe side, because I don't really use regen, but you can put oh shoot, I got rid of the 0. That's a perfect example of how you can do it. So we can just put it at 20. Because it's still, the way it converts back, it's not going to hardly make any difference, but just so it'll be less resistance too going against it. Absolute maximum current. So let's say that this is what we are aiming for, phase current up here, the max current, the motor current max, but this is your fail safe down here on the absolute maximum. Now with the G300, I got everything set up. You can hit, by the way, plus, minus, go up that way if you want. Current, what you had as far as like the input you had before you hit save. Default is like what the controller is going to set, what it set off the base parameters of what you had. And then like I said with these help buttons, every single thing will show you in kind of a broke down form what give you an example, like a definition of what it is. And I don't know, it's very, very helpful to a lot of people. So absolute maximum on the G, I can go up to 650. I'll put that there just so I'm there. I'm not gonna get any phase overcurrent or anything like that. Slow ABS, that's another good way to not go over if you are using something smaller like a Flipski Pro 75-200 Pro, and you're trying to pull everything out of this. You can get cuts if you don't set it high enough. The newer ones, we got them to do where they're saying it's safe to put it up to 400 as your max, and they're actually saying that versus us just doing it. So it's but that's just good for burst, so we're, I don't know, pushing it a little close there. Either way, slow ABS current. Everything else, we're going to go down to battery current. That's another one you might be familiar with. Right here, the most on the B1 motor I'm going to do, just to be sane for you guys, is 110 here. Regen, I like to take this down at the most. Like I said, I don't use regen, so I just set it for 5 amps. If you want to use more, you're more than welcome. I wouldn't go any way past 20 at the max, and that's if you have a big ass pack. These other ones down here, this is an overshoot current, giving you about 16 points of overshoot if you need to, before it gives you a cut. You can change that if you want to, but I don't see it being an issue. It's worked good there since I've used Vesc. So at this point, we're going to go down and hit right. Do not hit read. Read is giving the controller a base set of like all parameters. Like it's making that one stick. So if like the default, it's going to be that. If you were to click default, it's not going to be the actual default it was before. It's going to be that number. So stay away from read. That's one thing of all things. Just stay away from read. We're hitting right.
Reed is a bad guy.
That's right.
I don't know who he is, but
yeah. So at that point, we got that done. We're gonna change that second general up top. And this is things you can check on too. So you got voltage, just making sure where it's going to cut off. If you want to take that down a little bit, you can. If you run a 72 volt battery, we're at 68 is when the soft voltage. No, we're going to take that down to 62 and then leave that at 60, just for give you guys something decent, safe to roll on. Hit right after every page. Hit right, just so you just get in the habit. RPM, you can set that up just to limit everything. Wattage, what's allowed to do. Temperature, BMS advanced. This will set your duty cycle and everything like that. What maximum voltage can be used. Your temperature sensor type, if it did have one. This motor doesn't. Extra Hall samples, it's going to help you apply more torque but more delay at the beginning, so that's a way to mess with throttle. If anything, if you see this and actually get to it, you can turn this up to 2 or 3. Leave it at 1 just to see how everything goes the first time around. This is just something while I'm going past it I can kind of give you a little bit about. Right, then we're done here. So we're done with motor configuration for the B1 motor. That's what we know it can take. And just to show you as far as that goes, the tune. Now we're going over to app configuration. No. Motor config, we're still in motor config.
Let me go back to this real quick.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Alright, so instead of motor config, we're gonna stay in motor config, change that first general to FOC. Now this is where your Hall sensors and all those other that we screenshot earlier, those detections that were made in the auto learn, they're all going to be around here, and you can adjust those as needed. You're not really going to have to. You can just kind of So the main point was to get into FOC. General, we're going to take this down to field weakening. Now I have it at 0 right here just because it's the base set, but we can apply a little bit. This is where you're sacrificing torque for speed. So it applies a negative ID to the motor to allow more current to pass through. So it's going to keep pulling and allow a higher RPM. This, for the most that I would, you can go high. Not with the B1 motor, you can go decent. I feel like 60 to 80, if your battery can push it, is not bad. we'll do at mine we'll set it at 60 here, and then we're going to take this down to an 85% duty cycle entry rate. So it's going to come in at 85% duty cycle to allow. So we got that main max torque per amp rolling us through, like trying to push us, and then once we get up to about, because the efficiency is about 90% of the motor anyway, like 90% for the motor anyways. So we'll start at 85 and kind of just push it into that max efficiency. And it doesn't do too bad on heat either as far as adding it in. Some people go back and put it as far as entering at 65%. It's crazy. This is the entry rate of it, so it can, the 200 milliseconds, you can add to that, and it'll make the field weakening come in at a slower rate. And when you're on the bench here, and I'll show you guys here in just a sec, I just gotta, I'm doing a live one with you, so I gotta think of everything. Well, for now, we'll just hit right. Okay, and then we're gonna go over here to advanced. Now, this is where somebody that knows what they're doing is gonna disagree with me. But all these other shit, don't worry about. You can use high current sampling mode if you need to get away from phase cuts, or if you are a heavier person or anything like that. But your observer, you can also change that if you need to if the motor's running funny. It can kind of sometimes be seen a different way. There's different observers that can be used to track it. Then we got the main one I'm trying to get to is your max torque. So MTPA algorithm mode. It's going to be ignored anyways if it shows no benefit, but for any motor that I've used it on, including SPMs, it's especially good on IPMs, but even for SPMs, it use IQ measured, don't use IQ target. Just trust me. And it's, even though whatever's whatever, just trust me. This will give you the full torque all the way through. It's helpful. You can look it up and kind of gives you the help button there too that explains more of what each do, but just showing you everything while I'm running through here. Yeah, we should be good on all those other platforms. And go back to general. Those are all just easy. You can also invert the motor direction here too later if you need to. Just change that after it's already configured. So we're gonna hit right. We got everything done there. App configuration. Now we can finally get to that. This is where it's for your throttle feel. General up top here. When you're in app configuration, you're gonna go to ADC. Well, when you're in ADC, it's going to give you another general underneath that. But first, this screen should look familiar. We did it in the setup. That use filter, the positive ramping time. If you make this go up, the 0.30, if you make it go up, it's going to give you more like time between the start of the throttle to the end, from when it climbs to the voltage, like its full potential voltage. The negative down ramping time, just don't fuck with it. It hasn't gave anybody problems yet, me myself included, after riding it forever, riding it on different platforms. But so at that point we'll go we'll just hit right, make sure I didn't change anything. You'll see that come up, app going right, okay. Take general, take it to mapping. This will show your input deadband, usually 15%. That gives you a little bit of leeway before the actual twist starts to take effect. I usually take mine down to 3 to 5. I'm going to put mine at 3. That's when it starts. So there's not much room, but there's still some room. So I'm not going off a jump, and then it's the littlest tiny bit is giving me, whisking me out. This shows your minimum, max, middle throttle voltage for ADC1. That's what's going to be used. After that, you can hit right. Accepts it, go for mapping the throttle curve. Throttle expo. I have a hard time explaining this to people. The far driver does it too in a different way. But so your throttle expo, the top one up here, the more you go up positive, the more jump and the more current it's going to feel like it's flowing with at the beginning of the throttle, and then it's going to lean you out. If you were to go negative with this number, which you can, a lot of people don't know that. If you go negative with that number, it will, I don't know, if you're running really high power, it kind of like allows you to hook up and then applies power more throughout the middle and the end. So I like doing that when I'm running high power, because it kind of gives it a better, smoother feel all the way through. It's hard to explain. but it's something you can mess with, and just mess with it at little rates. Like go up 5%. If you can only use 100 amps, go up 5% and see if that gives you more torque in the beginning to like hold your wheelies, make you feel better. But yeah, for that part, polynomial, you can try these. These are different ride modes as far as the throttle feel. I like polynomial or exponential. I'm going to leave it over here. No, actually, poly's been what I was rocking with on the F11. So we'll leave it here. But it's just what I like to do on the B1 was, we'll leave it at 10. Okay, then we'll hit right. Okay. So at that point, you're pretty much set. There's terminal packages. There's all the, don't mess with none of that shit. Just come back here to real-time data. If you're happy with the tune, slide up, you know, and here's your base display. You can go out. We'll see. I'll show you here. We're already set. So at this point, we're going to take our light 1 throttle here from the. See that response though? Watch, I can creep with it. No, I'm just fucking with it now, but. And it's giving you your motor temps, your ESC temp, which is your controller temp, your consumption level, your battery. It's all being read up here. Obviously my poles are off because it's saying, well, it might not be. It looked pretty close as far as the speed. Yeah. Yep. Sounds good though. But now let's go over here. Let's see what she's pulling just from sitting here on the bench. She's probably pulling some weight. Oh, no, nothing too crazy. But max speed, 60 miles an hour. That would be pushing it too far for the V1. You need to limit your RPMs, which I showed you where to do that. But it's pulling a max of 70 amps. That's just me fucking around. Max power at 3268 watts. That's just because of the phase amperage. Just an example, you know what I mean? Like of what can be done. But that's a bass tune. That's how to get it set and how to mess with some parameters of getting the ride feel good for you for Vesc. And I'm telling you, when you feel this compared to the Far Driver, I'm a die-hard Far Driver guy. I've been for years. But it's a different animal, dude. It's completely different as far as just the ride feel alone. And this, I've been working on, because the throttle's been a big deal too to a lot of people. And these paired together has been awesome. But yeah, I have this. So now this one's paired with this. It can be paired with anything else. You can go right back to start, hit set up motors. After, you know, obviously disconnect, unplug everything, plug the new motor up, come in, scan, boom, set up motors, go through that whole shit again. And yeah, that's easy peasy, guys. So if there's any questions, post them in the comments. Please like and subscribe and share it to anybody else. If there's anybody that wants to chime in and give me this or that, you know, or just conversate about how things work, I'm more than willing. And there's way more you can do, but this should give everybody the base to get some excellent power and be awesome. Thanks, guys.